Hello and welcome back to the Beard Guys. Today we're going to do a garage update video. I haven't done one for ages, so I thought it was probably due. We haven't also done one at all on the Xbox One, so it's nice to get the new garage and the cool graphics and all that kind of stuff, which I'm sure everyone is pretty used to now, but there you go, nice to see. So we're going to go through non-premium tanks first, from tier 1 up to tier 10, and then we'll roll through my premium tanks. And we'll hopefully try and blaze through it quite quickly. These videos are just kind of give you an idea of what I've got in my garage, what I think about some of the tanks, what ones I like, don't like, and it also helps if people want to request stuff to play on the channel, or tanks to use on the live stream, that kind of thing. Gives you an idea of what I've got to sit around, what I'm grinding at the moment, that kind of thing. Might be your cup of tea, might not be, but check it out if you think you might like it. So, tier 1 Cunningham, I mean, I'm not going to say anything about that. It's a tier 1 tank. It's my favourite tier 1 tank, but I hardly ever drive tier 1 tanks, so forget about it. Tier 2, T18, yeah, more kind of seal clubbing. I haven't driven this really for ages, apart from very, very occasionally. It's a nice little tier 2 tank, if you're into that thing. I don't really drive many low tier tanks these days. I tend to be more of a kind of 7, 8, 9 sort of guy. But you know, the Lloyd gun carriage. I bought this recently because I'm going to grind up and get the Bertie, which I haven't done yet. I think that's why I got it. Yeah, I seem to remember. I drove it twice, and then sort of forgot about that idea and haven't gone back to it. So I will do that, and then I'll sell this one because I don't care about having a tier 2 artillery. Tier 3, I have no tier 3 non-premium tanks. So we'll come back to that on the premium slide. Tier 4, we have the SU-85B. This is a really nice tank. Probably my favourite tank under tier 5 in the game, I'd say. Yeah, I think that's probably fair to say. Yeah, really nice tank, really great pen, really great rate of fire, pretty accurate gun, great damage for its tier. It's got no armor, but I don't care about that. It's got great view range, decent camo. Yeah, really nice tier 4 game. I've had some, when I first got that, I had some great sort of 8, 9 kill battles. Yeah, very effective at its tier. Cool. So, tier 5. Got a few more 5s starting to fill up now. We've got the Chaffee, which is a really nice light tank that I used to use loads. Haven't used it so much recently because I've had a lot of other light tanks. The French tanks especially I've been using a lot more. The French lights. This is getting nerfed soon, if not already, depending on when you watch this, with the new patch coming out, releasing the T49, the Bulldog and those sort of tanks. This is going to only see up to tier 8, I believe. Once that happens, at the moment it sees up to tier 10, so that's going to get a little bit of a nerf. So I'll probably try and take it out for a bit more of a roll before that changes, for old time's sake. The M41 I rebought because I was going to try and grind up this line a little bit and do some artillery videos, but I just got pissed off and bored playing it, which pretty much what happens every time I play artillery. So I don't know if that's going to happen or not on the channel. You'll have to wait and see. The idea was to get up to like the tier 7, 8 really OP American arties, and then we could get some nice like videos on how silly and OP some of those are. But unfortunately I don't have the patience to actually grind up the line. So that M41 will probably get sold pretty soon. Crusader I got because I wanted to work up towards getting the Comet, and yeah, we don't need to look at that, that'll be fine. And some of the other tanks on this line look quite appealing as well, so I just picked this up the other day. I've driven it like once, so don't really know much about it. It's got a pretty funny shaped turret, which looks amusing. Other than that, don't know much about it. ELC AMX, love it, one of my favourite tanks in the game, probably never going to sell it. I like it because it's weird and pretty unique. It's got really powerful gun, really quick, really low profile, not a fully traversable turret. Yeah, just a really interesting tank to play. It's that it's different from most other tanks in the game, and those are the kind of tanks that I normally like the most. So definitely recommend checking this out, even if you're not going to go all the way up this line. I'd recommend checking out the ELC if you're into to quick tanks. Tier 6, so we've got the Hellcat. A few people had recommended that I get this. It's a really nice tier 6 TD. I got it quite recently. I've used it a reasonable amount, not loads. I kind of just bought it because I don't have many tier 6 tanks, or I didn't at the time, and it was convenient for platooning to have a bit more choice for tier 6. So it's just kind of sitting there for that, really. I'm not crazy about it, but it is a nice tank. It's a nice TD. KV2, similar reasons to the Hellcat, but in that I just don't really seem to have tier 6 tanks sitting around, so it was useful to have more for platooning. And this one's obviously just silly and has a big derpy gun on it, looks ridiculous and can be fun, but as you can see by the XP on it, I hardly ever use this tank. I've probably only done 10 or 20 battles in it. But, I don't know, it just sits there. I might sell it sometime, I might not. I don't need the garage spaces, so we'll see. Tier 7, T29, one of my favourite tanks in the game. Probably one of the best tanks tier for tier in the game, in my opinion, and probably quite a lot of other people's opinions. Just really nice and versatile, really hard to damage if you can get it hold down, and you can get hold down in a hell of a lot of places in this game. Reasonably mobile, nice gun. Yeah, love it. Very good fun tank. Won't ever sell that. Haven't driven it for a while, but or frequently for a while, but I'll go back into it. It's good fun. Jagdpanther. I took this out again recently. Actually, there'll probably be a video coming out soon of a nice round I had in it. This is one that I didn't want to sell because I really loved it, and then I found so many other tanks that I love since then that I've just not really had the time to go back to this tank and give it more time. But it is a really good tank when it's fully upgraded. Yeah, and really good fun, and I had a really nice round it the other day with some mates of mine, so yeah, so there'll be a video up on that sometime. Tier 8, we're getting a bit more lively now. Here we go. So we've got the Tiger 2 that I recently unlocked. I've barely driven it, so I can't really say much about it, but I need to, I don't think it's upgraded at all, probably. Nope, it's completely stock. So I need to learn how to use this. I need to have some practice, do some videos, maybe some platooning, and check it out. I was kind of working my way up towards the E100, and then I've kind of gone off that idea a little bit, and I'm not so keen, so I'll probably just grind the Tiger 2 and then leave it there for the time being, because I want to get, it'd be nice to get good in the Tiger 2, but not so bothered about the E100 anymore. There's a lot of other tier 10s that I think I'd rather get before that. Jagdpanther 2, excellent TD, one of my favourites in the game. I was going to say my favourite tier 8, but maybe not, because the ISU is very fun. But yeah, it's really nice, really mobile. It's got a little bit of art. It's a nice combination of mobility and armour, and a very nice gun, as you'd expect from a TD line. Yeah, won't ever sell that. I really love that German TD line. You're going to see that all the way up to tier 10. I've got the Jagdpanther all the way up to the Jaeger, the tier 10, still sitting in my garage. So yeah, great tank, love it. Borsig, I free XP'd pretty much all the way up to the Borsig when I was a bit drunk and thought that it would be cool to get the waffle, and then I sort of stopped there and decided not to spend another several thousand gold going all the way up to tier 10. It's okay. I think I've got the top. Yeah, I've unlocked the top gun on it, but I mean, not everyone uses that anyway. And then I've got a little bit bored of it. I don't know. It didn't really do it for me. It felt like the lack of gun depression I found pretty annoying, and I just didn't enjoy it anywhere near as much as the Jagdpanther 2 or the ISU 152. I much preferred. Most people really like the Borsig, so I think I'm slightly on my own in that. But for me, it just, I don't know, it hasn't really worked as well as other tier 8 TDs have for me personally. AMX 1390, one of my favourite tanks in the game. At the moment, I'm not really using it because I moved my crew on to my Lorraine and then onto my Batchat, so it has a completely pants crew. Should we find them? There we go. Jacques Diderot, which is just under 100% and has no skills. So driving a light tank without 6th sense is pretty much complete suicide, even if you do have a spade and a pickaxe on the side of your tank. So I need to put some time into training up that crew before I use this tank again. I want to get more marks and excellence in it, because I was absolutely kicking ass in this tank, and I love it. I love it. It's so much fun. Yeah, so I won't be selling that. IS3, I'm in the process of grinding pretty slowly. I'm not crazy about getting an IS7, but I probably will. I really like this tank though. This is really fun. It's nice armor. It's a bit weird how you play it because of the kind of piked front, so you don't really angle it like you would a normal tank, so that makes it kind of interesting. And the top gun on it's really nice as well. So yeah, good fun, good for roll around in platoons of as well. I'd recommend giving it a go. Probably not going to be grinding that too crazily though. So the E50, so I only unlocked this quite recently, and then was platooning with some friends of mine, and we were doing like 5-man Ram Panzer platoons, 5-man Batchat platoons, and then we thought about doing a 5-man E50M platoon, and so I just bombed some free XP and bought my way up to the E50M and bought that straight away. So I've only actually done a handful of battles in the E50. It is now fully upgraded, so I'm just training up a new crew for that now, because I moved the good crew onto the E50M. And once I've got a basic crew on this tank, then I'm going to take it out some more and get some videos done on it, because it is a really good tank, and I don't think I'll be selling it. I think I'll be leveling up crew and using that pretty regularly. Yag Tiger, excellent tank, love it. I don't use it too much recently, but it's one of those ones that I'm never going to sell. It's one of my favourite TDs in the game. Really powerful. It is a little bit overused, but it's hell of a tough. Great armor, great gun, good fun to play. T54, I'm grinding. Been grinding that for ages actually. I've been sort of keep getting distracted and doing other tanks and playing other games maybe. But yeah, getting there on the T54, it's good fun to play. I'm going up this route towards the Object 140, so not really that far to go, 50k or so. If I actually put my mind to it, I could probably do that in a couple of days, but I probably won't, and I'll probably keep playing lots of different tanks, and it'll take me ages, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to get to the tier 10. I'll probably keep the T54, maybe, I think, because it's a really nice tank, although maybe one tier 9 medium's probably enough. We'll see. We'll see. Object 704, another TD that I really, really love in the game, and also another tank that has a bit of a underwhelming crew on it because I moved it onto the tier 10. So let's dig those guys out. Yaroslav Tarasuk. You can see it's almost got camouflage, so it's getting there. I've been training up that crew in the 12244. I think once I've got camo and 6th Sense on that, I'm not sure why I've done camo before 6th Sense. I'll switch that when it gets fully trained and take 6th Sense first. But once that's got 6th Sense on it, I'll probably start taking this out again, because I really want to get my more Marks of Excellence on this, because I was absolutely kicking ass in this tank. It is such a good tier 9 TD, ridiculously so. Right, and then we are up to tier 10. There we go, we got through those quite quickly, just got the premiums to do. So, E5 is my very first tier 10. It's a heavy, but it plays more like a medium really. I tend to roll with it in medium platoons. Like quite versatile tank, sort of good all-rounder, bit of an annoying weak spot on the top. Not very good armor generally, but yeah, like a nice all-round tier 10 tank. I'm not in the habit of selling tier 10 tanks, so don't think that's going to be going anywhere anytime soon, although I do now have an E50M, which is awesome, and I've only driven a few battles, but they've pretty much all been epic and great. And we were doing a 5-man E50M platoon the other day with some very good players as well, much better than me, and that was really fun. We were just harassing people. It was very brutal. Yeah, really nice tank. Just getting to grips with this now really, so once I've warmed up to it and got some good rounds down, expect to see some videos of that popping up on the channel. Crewed by Helmut Nussbaum. So we've got the Jagdpanzer E100, the Jägeru, the tier 10 German TD. This is, yeah, it's a nice tank. A lot of people like this tank. I'm kind of, I don't know, I don't like it as much as the other tanks on this line. I preferred the Jag Tiger for its tier. I prefer the Jagdpanther 2 for its tier. This one's quite different. It's like a, I don't know, like a massive heavily armoured thing with a city gun with a 20-second reload or whatever it is. I don't know, it's fun sometimes. A lot of the time it's just a bit annoying because you miss, and then if you miss, then that's a long time to wait for a shell to reload. For me, I prefer tanks with a slightly lower alpha and a quicker reload, like the Object 268, which we'll come to in a minute. I prefer that. Batchat I got very recently. This is a great tank, one of my favourite tanks at the moment. Probably my favourite tier 10 at the moment, just because it's really fun to play. I got so used to playing those auto-loaders on the French line that this has just been great fun for me. It's like having one of those with lots of health and a really, really brutal gun. I'm still getting used to it. I feel I've been doing pretty well, and I've been showing out lots of like 3-4k plus damage games in this, but still have barely got, I don't think I've even got like top mastery. I've got like the 3rd mastery, so I don't know if I've just been playing on crappy days at the end of the week when it's a bit harder to get mastery, or I just suck compared to everyone else. But yeah, kind of surprising. I wanted to get the Mark of Excellence for this, and I've got over 100 games yet, haven't even got one, so not quite sure what I'm doing wrong on the Batchat. The games have felt good, but we'll see. I'll keep sticking with it. It's really fun to play. Quite a strange play style for a tier 10, but yeah, really, really good fun. Object 268. Really nice TD. I prefer using this to using the Jagdpanzer E100. This one packs slightly less of a punch, but you can do virtually the same alpha. I mean, so your alpha on here is up to potentially up to 1063 with normal AP, and then on the Jägeru you've got 1300. So get an extra 300 alpha potentially. on the Jaeger. Well, I don't think I'm hitting 1300 is pretty damn rare. But the extra reload time just isn't worth it for me. You don't get the armor on the 268 that you get on the Jaeger, but you get excellent camouflage and a much lower profile, and it's much more nimble and quick to get around the battlefield. So this does it for me. I prefer it a lot more. I've had a lot more better games in this, a lot more 7-8k damage games in this than I have in the Jaeger, although they can both churn them out. Plus this one looks like it's got a sort of giant pepper army Rat's and Cling film on the back, so that always keeps me amused. Right, so let's look at the premium tanks. Should we just go? We'll just go through them from the beginning. We don't need to do these by tier. Maybe we should, you know. We'll stick with the theme, yeah. Okay, obviously, don't think there's any tier 1 premium tanks. Tier 2, T2 Light I got for free from, I think, a code I got given by someone. I've only really used it for racing in training rooms. That's about all I know about it, is it's quick. The X1 I took out for the very first time the other day. I'd never bothered driving it. It's actually quite fun if you load it with premium ammo and go out, and it's got this crazy rapid fire gun. Yeah, it's kind of a good laugh. I mean, like I said, I don't really drive low tier tanks very much, so don't know too much about it. That was a reward for, I think, playing the beta for Xbox One. You played the beta weekend and you got this with this funny livery with like the Wargaming logo and this camo and that kind of thing. Okay, then we got the PZ38H, the Micro Mouse, I believe it is called, nicknamed. I think this was a reward for this was like some ops I think they did a couple of months ago. And if you completed this big series of like month-long chained ops, then you got this as a reward, which was cool. Nice to get a tank. I haven't actually driven it too much. It was quite fun. I took it out when it first came out and there were loads around. I think if I took it out now, it'd probably be better because not as many people would be driving them. And for other tier 2s, it's really hard for them to pen, and hence the name Micro Mouse. So it could be fun. I don't think that's normally available in the store, so it's a bit of a slightly rare premium, although not super rare thanks to those ops and rewards. Locust, very fun tier 3 premium tank, one I've actually used quite a lot. Quite nimble and versatile, not a bad gun. Good for those tier 3 battles where it's just carnage and everyone driving around like nutters, and you can just kind of drive around and throw some shots in, and maneuverability can be key really. So yeah, good tier 3 premium. I'd recommend that one. The FCM 36 pack 40, I've barely driven. I just bought it because I needed a French crew trainer, so I tested out that. I tested out the artillery, but then I ended up getting the AMX Chaffee came out, and that kind of kicked every other French crew trainer I had out of the water. So I've hardly used this thing, don't really know much about it. Tier 4 we don't have any. Tier 5 we've got loads. So we've got the Sherman, the M4A2E4. I don't really like it's also probably an alright tank, but I bought this when I was a bit of a noob at the game and didn't really like it then, and that's kind of tainted it for me. But I don't sell premium tanks, so it's just going to sit there. T14, similar story. You could probably have good games in it, but I got this like when the game first came out. I think it was a reward for beta reward or something like that, and yeah, I don't like it really. I can't remember the last time I took this out. It's probably been over a year, but there you go. It's just sitting there as an ornament. Panzer 5.4, on the other hand, probably my favourite tank in the game. Maybe it's up there. Really nice tank, massively overpowered. It's got like 870 hit points for a tier 5 medium, which is outrageous. The gun's slightly lacking in pen, but otherwise it's just brutal. It's great for ramming, hence the nickname the Ram Panzer. And if you have one of these, you'll just churn out good games over and over. It is an excellent tank, excellent tank. It's a rare premium, so it won't be available in the store, so keep an eye out for that when it comes up in the store. Definitely recommend grabbing it. The LE blah 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 blah, or Lefty as we called it, it's quite a nice artillery if you fancy a premium artillery and a French crew trainer, although admittedly artillery's not the best crew trainer because you don't generally get as much XP as normal tanks due to lack of assisted damage. But it is a fun artillery. It's very rapid fire, a bit like the Burt in that respect, but normal sort of range. It's good for like perma tracking people and then wrecking them. And I had really good fun with this when I first bought it. I haven't gone back to it really since, but it is really good fun. Churchy 3 is kind of a decent premium. Doesn't really do it for me. It's too slow and sluggish for my liking, but a lot of people like it. It's kind of fun in platoons because it's got a really rapid fire gun, so it's almost like an autoloader really, but without the reload. It's just crazy fast rate of fire. So it's pretty funny when you got 2 or 3 of those together. But like I said, for me, too slow. I'm not a fan of. There needs to be something good to balance out the ridiculous slowness for me, and it doesn't do it for me on enjoyment. The night I got given this when it came out for free by Wargaming, which was very cool of them, and it's awesome. I love it, and kind of why I don't really drive my other tier 6 tanks now, because I've got this one and it's just really hard, and I prefer driving that to the Hellcat and definitely to the KV2. Yeah, I love it. Very good tank. It's just like it's a Cromwell B basically, I think, if you're familiar with the PC version of the game. So it's like a slightly buffed Cromwell basically, which is already a good tank. TOG 2, just a silly comedy tank really, for fun for platoons and silly videos. Not really much good for much else, but you know, it's a TOG. You've got to have a TOG, especially if you're British. AMX Chaffee, brilliant little premium tank, very useful because it can train French and American crews, which is fairly unique in the game. I think there's one other tank that can train 2 different nationalities, but I forget which one it is. So this is really useful to me, mostly for the French training, because there aren't too many out there, and it's just a great tank. So it's like a Chaffee sort of chassis with, I think it's the AMX 1375's gun, top gun, something like that. So very more maneuverable than the normal French tanks because of the Chaffee chassis, but it has the lovely auto-loading gun. Yeah, great tank, or the AMX Joko as it is known, because Joko came up with the idea. So we've got the Type 64, which is the Chinese premium tank that I bought ages ago. Haven't driven it for ages. I actually really love this tank and played it loads when I first bought it. Also has a crew member called Ang Bang Gang, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's a really nice tank. I just, for some reason, haven't gone back to it. I think it's because there's no Chinese tanks I'm actually grinding or that bothered about, so I don't really need to train up a crew, and I've got lots of other crews that need training. So, but I'll come back to that. It's a great tank, and when I finally decide to get a Chinese tank, I'll probably get really stuck into that. The E25, really fun tank, crazy low profile, crazy rate of fire, great camo, great speed, just weak armor really, and very low alpha damage. But yeah, really fun tank to play. I recommend getting it. The tier 7 premiums as well, I think are pretty good value. The tier 8s are very expensive, tier 7s are a lot less expensive and still make a very nice amount of silver. SU-12244, very nice tank. I've not driven it a huge amount yet, but it is an absolute beast. It's got a crazy rate of fire for the alpha damage that it has, and that's been really helping me out with training up some of my Soviet crews and making some really nice silver as well, really good silver. Yeah, so I definitely recommend grabbing that if you like TDs. It's good for sort of getting up in their face and brawling really, and just overwhelming them with that rate of fire. Doesn't have amazing armor, but rate of fire can just scare the bejesus out of people. So my tier 8 premiums, which are filling up quite a lot now. So well, yeah, let's get the favourite out of the way first. This is the Brazil. I bought it the other day. I think it's crap because it has annoying ammo choices. If you want to hear more about that, you can go and watch one of the videos that I've done on it, and you can hear about the crappy armor choices that it has. I don't like it. I think it's shit. Basically, there you go. That's my review. Wish I could get my money back, but it's my own dumb fault that I bought it. So there you go. But speaking of money, I guess this is the T95E2. I got this when Xbox One came out. I think there was some sort of glitch where people who had pre-ordered the AMX Chaffee got this by mistake. And I don't know if it did it the other way around or not, but I basically didn't buy this. I bought the Chaffee, logged in, this was in my garage, the Chaffee wasn't. I put in a support ticket saying that, and then they gave me the Chaffee and didn't take this out. So this is just sat there. I've only driven it about a handful of times, but no, it's a free tier 8 premium. Cool, I guess. I really should probably use it, but I've got fracking loads of them anyway. The Mutant 6, I don't really like this tank. It's nice to have because it's a rare premium tank and not many people have it. It's a bit of a collector's item, not often on sale, but yeah, I don't know. I've had some fun games in it. I don't drive it very often because there's lots more fun tanks to play in the game. It's just funny, looks silly, got shitty armor on the sides, nice hull and turret armor basically. That's the Mutant. Jagdtiger 88, one of my favourite premiums in the game, probably my favourite premium in the game. That and the Rampans are up there. This is the first tier 8 premium I bought. It makes me an absolute crap ton of silver. Nearly got my second mark of excellence on it. Really tough, great rate of fire. Nice armor, bit sluggish and slow, but once you've got decent crew on it, which you probably will with a premium tank, then it's great. Love it, recommend it. If I could keep one of my tier 8 premiums, it would be that one. So i6 is another one that's up there for me with tier 8 premiums. It's very nice. Don't use it as much as the Egg Tiger 88. I find I do better soloing in the 88 and then platooning in the IS6. But yeah, it's a good tank, good for brawling, getting in the faces, makes great silver. KV5, another bit of a city tank, but I prefer it much to the Mutant because it's even cittier. It's got like this city weak point on the front, the kind of R2D2 bulge there. That thing with the tiny little gun poking out of it. Looks like he's just pointing a little revolver out the front. I'm not sure that's going to really do very much. But yeah, it's a great city tank. The gun's alright. You can drive it backwards if you want because the hull armor is pretty much the same on the back as it is at the front. And it's excellent at ramming. So it's just one of those fun, silly tanks. There we go. That's up to tier 8. And that's going to be everything because there are no tier 9 or tier 10 premium tanks in the game. Cool. Well, that's every tank in my garage. That was a total of how many there? 48. We managed to get through it in just under half an hour. So I'm pretty pleased with that. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought about the stuff in my garage, what your favourite tanks, what ones you might like to see some more videos of, or that kind of thing, or see me play on the stream. I'm not necessarily going to take requests for any particular tank, especially if you ask me to play the Brazil or another tank that I don't really like, then it's probably not very likely I'm going to have a go in it. But let me know what you think in the comments. It's cool to hear what you guys think, and we do read all the comments and try to respond to as many as we can. Nice one. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that video, please think about hitting the like button and subscribing if you're not already. And I think that's about everything. My name's Ben, we're the Beard Guys, and I'll see you next time.